My name is Ahu and I'll share a short Iyengar yoga practice with you today. I have a blanket and two blocks, so if you have a blanket or maybe two and two blocks or perhaps two thick books, that might also work. And a chair, just have a chair nearby, just a normal chair is okay. That will be great. If you don't have blankets, it can be also a bolster or a firm pillow. That might also work. My blankets are cotton and they are firm. They are not squishy blankets. And that's nice to have because then it makes a difference when you sit on it. We are going to sit on a platform of blanket or a bolster pillow. Okay? So I folded my blanket nicely like this, and it's a good idea to have your blanket folded nicely. It shouldn't be messy underneath you. You want a nice stable platform under you. And then I sit on my blanket. I sit on the blanket with my buttocks only. My thighs are not on the blanket. If I would sit like this backwards and my thighs were also on the blanket, it wouldn't make such a big difference than sitting on the floor. So what you want is you want to have your buttocks on the blanket and your thighs off the blanket so they can descend downwards towards the ground. And then from here, take your legs slightly apart and press your inner heels forward from here. Press the inner heels forward and you can have a look at your feet and see that the little toe side of your feet are facing up towards the ceiling. You want your knees facing up towards the ceiling. So sometimes the legs turn out like this. So press the inner heels forward. That will also help to turn your legs outside in. So the little toe side of the feet are facing up. And then from here, take your right foot towards your left knee. And then take your left foot under your right knee. And we come to this cross-legged position, which we call swastikasana. And then you cup your hands and palms facing back. Press the fingertips towards the ground. And if you're on a height that is higher than what I'm sitting on, you might be better off having those fingers on the height you sit, because higher you get with your buttocks, then you will need to reach more downwards, and then that will pull you down. If I was sitting high and then my arms were shorter, and then I would be pulling myself downwards, my shoulders downwards, but that's not what we want. We want to press our fingers down to lift our spine, to create height in the spine and lift the chest. And make sure your legs are not trying to help you. Sometimes the knee starts going up with your chest. So let the knees be heavy and then you only lift your chest away from the ground. And from here, take your arms to the side, turn the inner arms towards the ceiling to move the shoulder blades into your back, and then bring your palms together in front of your chest. The thumb fingers point towards your sternum, and you look forward. Take the head slightly back, soften the gaze, breathe through the nose, but don't try to change your breath. Already you lift the chest, that will create a change in the breath, but don't try to manipulate the breath in any other way. If you're comfortable to close the eyes from top to bottom, otherwise have soft gaze. Maintain the height of your chest. And then as you exhale, bow your head towards your heart. Bring the palms down on your thighs. Inhale, lift the head. If your eyes were closed, open the eyes gently. And then from here, straighten your legs forward for a moment. We've been bending the knees, and you might need to straighten the legs to release the knees. And then we'll come to standing. So come up to standing and put the blanket away for now to the side. And then I take my mat and we roll the mat now halfway through. So roll your mat nicely, tightly, like I do. We'll do a simple leg stretch before we start doing other yoga postures. So I roll the mat halfway, so you do that also. And then from here, take your the front of your right foot up the mat. So not only the toes, the ball of your right foot up the mat. So it's not a toe stretch, it's a leg stretch. So you need to take the ball of your foot up the mat and then gently lift your left leg and take it forward. Now from here, straighten the right leg, press that right heel down. And then make sure you're not leaning forward and taking the buttocks backwards. Lift the chest and top of your buttocks, it's going down towards your heel. You'll feel the calf muscles stretching and the back of your knee opening. So we stay here for a moment. If it's, maybe you can do it a little bit more intense by bending the front knee slightly and then straightening, if it's okay. If you already think this is intense enough, then don't do it. But if you want to intensify a little bit more, you can bend that front left knee slightly and then straighten it. You'll feel a little bit more stretch. And then step forward with that right leg next to the left foot and see if there's any difference between your two legs. I feel that my right leg is going back more than the left one. It's straighter and it's going backwards more. And then we do the same with the left. So you take the ball of the left foot up the mat. And then you lift the right leg and take it forward. Press that left heel down. Keep the left leg straight and you make sure you're standing straight up, chest lifted, top of your buttocks going down towards your heel. And then if you want to intensify a little bit more, you can bend the front knee slightly and then straighten it back. And you do it a few times. If it's intense enough, you just stay where you are. Yesterday I ran and I felt this much more, and today it's much different, it's much easier. The stretch. So depends what you've done that day. From day to day it will be different, our bodies. And then you step forward with the left foot and just feel your legs, how they feel. And so we did this, and it was opening the back of your legs, the heel was down. So it's one clue. When we press the heels down, we open the back of our legs. Yeah. Now we take our mat and open it back. And we open it back, and I take a block on my mat. And if you don't have a block, maybe you take a thick book like an encyclopedia perhaps, or you might have a maybe little box, something like that. And then I take my feet next to the block. Inner heels and big toes, inner edges of my big toes are touching the block. And I spread my toes nicely. And then from here you press the inner heels, big toe mounts down, and you lift the inner ankles, inner arches of your feet up. And if the block is bothering your inner ankles, it is because it's giving you a signal that you gotta work a little bit more to lift those inner ankles, inner arches. And it will take some time. So we start here and then we start activating those feet. And one way of doing it is lifting your toes up. As you lift your toes up, you'll see your arches gets a little bit more active. This is one way of doing it. But we should also be able to do it without lifting those toes. So bring the toes down and see if you can maintain the activity of your inner arches. And from here, I bring my hands down and then lifting the chest, looking forward. As the inner arches lift, I also feel my inner knees lifting, inner groins lifting, and it goes all the way to the perineum. So there is a lift all the way through the feet upwards. Now from here, take your arms to shoulder height. And then turn the inner arms towards the ceiling. And then bring the arms back down. We'll do this one more time. Lift the arms up. Imagine they are floating to shoulder height. And then turn your arms and bring that turn from your upper arms. Because I might just turn my palms, nothing much is happening. But if you turn your arms from your upper arms, from the root of your arms, you'll feel these muscles here, they start getting active and they lift your chest. And also your shoulder blades, they move down and into your back. Yeah. And then from here, bring the arms straight up. As you bring the arms up closer to one another, if they start bending like this, then take more distance between your arms and straighten them so they don't have to come all the way here. If they start bending, take them apart and lengthen those inner arms and reach through your fingers upwards. And then exhale, bring the arms down. So one more time, take the arms to the side, turn the arms inside out from the upper arms, so the inner upper arms facing the ceiling. And then inhale, lift the arms up, reach through the fingers, ground the heels as you do that. And then exhale, bring the arms down. So there is a spiraling of your arms as you do that, yeah? So we start from here and then we spiral the arms upwards. You can do it like I do, a little bit more faster. Yeah, so you start spiraling the arms as you lift them. So when you lift them, these inner arms, they go backwards. Here they face the ceiling, and when you take them all the way up, they go backwards. Yeah. And you can put the block or whatever you have between your feet to the side for now, and then bring your feet together. Big toes touching, and spread the toes, and see if you can lift the arches of your feet. Lift the chest, look straight forward, and then take the arms forward, interlace your fingers, really reach those fingers so the web between the fingers are closed, and then turn your palm forward. And I'll turn around so you see well. These inner elbows, the soft part of your elbows, you want those to face towards one another. If my elbows, the inner elbows, the soft part of my elbows, they face down, you can see my shoulders start hiking towards my ears. And then when I turn them towards one another, maybe you can clearly see that the shoulders, they go down away from my ears. So we want that. So try to turn your elbows towards each other as much as it's possible. It's not easy. And then from here, press the index finger side of your palms forward. Take the thumbs towards your chest. Ground the heels. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, bring the arms forward. Turn the palms, then change the interlace of your hands so the other little finger is down. And then turn the palms forward again. Turn those inner elbows towards each other as much as you can. Press the index side of your finger forward. Take the thumb towards you. Ground the heels with an inhalation. Lift the arms up. Index finger side of your palms pressing towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the arms forward, turn the palms, and then bring the arms down. And then I face you. We'll do a few standing poses from here. So take the arms to the side, bring the fingertips together, bend the knees, and then with an inhalation, you can step the feet apart, wide apart. This is one way of stepping up. And if you have a back issue, hip issue, knees or ankles, some issue with those, or you're tired or you're menstruating, you step out. If you are okay, if you don't have anything and you feel energetic, then you bring the fingertips together, bending the knees, you lightly jump the feet apart. And my feet are more or less under my wrists. So it's a big stand. And then from here, I press the left heel down, I turn my left toes in slightly, I ground that back heel, and then I turn the right leg all the way out. And then I turn my feet forward. And I press the right heel down, I turn the right toe slightly. I press the right heel and turn the left leg all the way out. And then I turn my feet forward, and then I walk or jump the feet together. So we'll repeat what we did. Before we do that, I'll show you one thing. Here as I stand, I bring the weight to my left leg, left foot. So right leg is light, and then from here, I turn my right leg out. And if you can see, I keep my hips looking forward. There is here that we have the hip bones, frontal hip bones, they face forward. I only turn my leg out as much as it's possible. So the leg is turning inside the hip socket. I'm not turning with my leg, with the whole pelvis as I turn my leg. Okay, the difference is very clear. I only turn the leg, not the whole pelvis, not this. Let's do that with the other leg. You give weight to your right foot, and then you turn your left leg out. Now turn it in, and one more time, you turn the leg out inside the hip socket as much as it can. And you turn it in. It might not turn all the way out 90 degrees, but you do what you can. Yeah. So we do this same thing when we are here. So take your feet apart as before. And here we press that left heel down, turn the left toes, that helps also a little bit. And you ground that back heel, and then you turn the right leg only. Hips look forward as much as they can. And then from here, we tend to stand like this if we don't pay attention. The whole weight goes to the front leg, and this hip bone, the frontal hip bone, this one drops down. So bring the outer back hip in to lift this hip bone to the level of the back hip bone. And then you'll also feel your back heel is getting heavy. So the whole weight is not in your front leg. Yes? And you want to keep it that way. And then from here, we're going to do Virabhadrasana too. You can have your hand here in that outer hip region, because to come into this pose, we move further in from here, and then we bend the knee. And then we come. We do it several times. You bend the knee, you come up, back, you bring that outer hip in, and you come up, and you bring that outer back hip in, bending the knee, and you come up. And you turn the feet forward, press the right heel, turn the toes in, and then turn the left leg only. Hips looking forward. You make sure you bring the outer hip in so the frontal hip bones are at level. Ground the back heel. You can have your hand here in the outer hip region, and then to come into warrior two, you bring that out, you move from there, you bring the outer hip in and you bend the front knee, and you come up. You bend the front knee and you come up, and then you bend the front knee and you come up. Turn the feet forward, and then walk or jump the feet together. So it's the same thing. When I'll just show you, explain you something. Sometimes we are here and then we come to warrior two. Again, everything is in the front leg and we are leaning forward. So we change that. From the beginning, we first bring the outer hip in. We lift this hip bone up to the level of the back heel bone. Back hip bone, and then the back leg also gets heavy, so we have even weight in 2 feet, and then we maintain that. And when we get into the pose, we bring the outer hip in. We are not leaning forward, we are centered. We bring the outer hip in and we bend the front knee, and then we are in Virabhadrasana 2. So let's do it again together. Fingertips together, bend the knees, walk or jump the feet apart. Make sure the feet are parallel, toes looking forward, and you have enough distance between your feet. And then press the left heel, turn the toes in. Press the left heel, turn the right leg out. And bring the outer hip in, so you lift that front hip bone to the level of the back hip bone. You can have your hand here in the outer hip region. You stay upright, you have even weight in your 2 feet. And then as you exhale, bring the outer hip in and bend the front knee. Take your inner knee forward and then come up. As you come into the pose, you lengthen from your inner groin to the inner knee. You bring the outer hip in and then come up again, and then exhale. Come in and stay this time. Take the other arm up. Also look forward. Lift the chest. Breathe. Press the feet. Inhale, come up. Turn the feet forward. Take the hands to your hips to take a break. And then from here you can ground the right heel, turn the toes, and turn your left leg all the way out. Bring the outer right hip in, so you lift the front hip bone. And then as you exhale, you can take the left arm up. You can have the right hand here to guide you. So you have even weight in your 2 feet. And then as you exhale, bring the outer hip in, bend the knee. And then come up. As you bend the knee, you take inner knee forward. You bring the outer hip in and inner knee forward. And then come up, staying centered, not leaning forward. And then exhale, bend the knee by bringing the outer hip in. Take the other arm up also, look forward, lift the chest, lift the gaze slightly. Press the feet, inhale, come up. Turn the feet forward and then walk or jump the feet together. Now we move into Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Here we keep both legs straight. Bring the fingertips together, bend the knees, walk or jump the feet together. Feet more or less under your wrist, feet looking forward. And then from here we move on, press the left heel down, turn the toes. Press the left heel down, turn the right leg out, hips looking forward as much as it's possible. And keep the back heel grounded. Bring that outer hip in so you don't start again leaning to the front leg. Lift the frontal hip bone. And then take your right arm up. And as you exhale, press the right toes down and come into Utthita Trikonasana. Look straight forward this way. And then press your right inner heel down and take your torso head back. Press the feet, inhale, come up, turn the feet forward. Press the right heel down, turn the toes in. Press the right heel down, turn the left leg all the way out. Bring that outer hip in so you lift the frontal hip bone of the front leg. And you have even weight in your both feet. And then take your left arm up, not the leg. Ground the back heel and then exhale, come into Utthita Trikonasana. Press the left inner heel down, take the head and your torso back. And when you do that, maybe you'll feel your buttocks moves in and back of your head and your sacrum come into line more or less. Press the feet, inhale, come up, turn the feet forward, and then walk or jump the feet together. Now I want to explain one thing here. So before we come to the pose, I give the same instruction as in Virabhadrasana to move the outer hip in so the hip bones are leveled. Yes? But in Trikonasana, we actually move the hips, right? We are not here, we don't fix it and then we just bend from the torso. So what I mean is not that you bring your outer hip in and then you fix it and then you try to bend and then it gets really hard, right? So what is happening is we bring that outer hip in so we don't start from here leaning to the front leg and pushing our outer hip out. So we don't want to start from here and then when we come to the pose we even push the outer hip even more out. So it will be too loose. So what we do is we create a bit of compactness by bringing that outer hip in. There is some compactness. We want to keep some of that, but we don't want to fixate ourselves. It has to also move. We have to be also able to move. Yeah? So that is a bit of firmness. There is a little bit of resistance from here, but it's not preventing me from moving. Yes? It's just not that loose. There is firmness here, compactness, but I'm able to move into the pose from my hips. Let's do it together. So ground the back heel, have even feet in your feet, even weight in your feet. Bring the outer hip in. You're here, lift the arm to create length on the side. And then as you exhale, allow yourself to move into the pose by shifting your hips. And the two sides of your torso is evenly lengthening. Make sure the head is not falling. Lift the right cheek away from the ground. Inhale, come up, turn the feet forward. Press the right heel, turn the toes in and turn the left leg all the way out. Again, bring the outer hip in, lift the frontal left hip away up. Even weight in your feet. And then lift the left arm, lengthen the left side of your torso. And then as you exhale, come into the pose. And again, make sure the head is not falling. You lift the left cheek slightly away from the ground and take the head back. Ground the inner left heel. Press the feet, inhale, come up, turn the feet forward, walk or jump the feet together. And breathe. Now we'll do one more pose. Utthita Parshvakonasana, and I'll use a block for this. And you can use a book if you don't have a block. So I'll have a block here behind me on the right side. Then I'll carry that block to the other side. And to come into this pose, we'll start from warrior two. Take the arms to the side, bring the fingertips together, bend the knees, walk or jump the feet apart. Press the left heel, turn the toes, press the left heel, turn the right leg out. Bring that outer hip in, ground the back heel. As you exhale, you bring the outer hip in further to bend the front knee. Take the inner knee forward. And then from here, you exhale and you bring your hand on your block and lift the top arm straight up. The block can be higher if you need. I'm using it at medium height for now. And here, I press my right inner heel down and I turn my chest towards the ceiling slowly, slowly. Press the feet. Inhale, come up. I take my block with me. If you had a book, maybe you need to take it later. And then I put the block to the other side. So this is kind of a combination of warrior two and the triangle pose. We first come into the warrior two pose, and then we come down like we did in Uttita Trikonasana. Yeah? Let's do the left side. Press the right heel, turn the toes in. Press the right heel, turn the left leg all the way out. Bring that outer right hip in. And then as you exhale, take your inner left knee forward, bringing the outer hip in further. And then from here, I come into Parsvakonasana. You see, I also allow movement in my hip here. And I take the top arm straight up. I press my palm on my block, fingers forward. Press the left inner heel down and turn your chest slowly towards the ceiling. I look straight forward for now. Round both feet. Inhale, come up. Turn the feet forward, walk or jump the feet together. And then from here, we'll do Uttanasana. You can use 2 blocks for it, or perhaps a chair. Any chair will do. You can use a chair from your kitchen or your office. So I first show with the chair. I have a folding chair, but it doesn't matter what kind of chair you have. Have the feet a little bit more than hip distance apart and take the heels slightly out. And then from here, have the hands at your hips, look straight forward. First ground the heels, and then also ground the front of your feet and bend from your hips, and then bring your hands on your chair. I have the palms open, pressing into the chair. And I can have the chair a little bit more in, so my hands are right under my shoulders. Legs straight, inner thighs going backwards. And I look slightly forward, taking the top of the chest forward. If I look back, it will start closing my chest, so I lift the head and look slightly forward. If you can come further down without problem, then you can use your blocks under your hand. So you can have the block under the hand, pressing the palms, fingers forward. I'm not grabbing the block, I'm pressing into it. As I press into the block, my arms lift away from the block. And my hands are right under my shoulders, not forward like this or backwards. They're right under. And I look slightly forward. Make sure the kneecaps slightly lifting, those inner arches of your feet working. And then from here, ground the heels, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, come up, and then bring the feet together. And stay here for a moment. Inhaling and exhaling. And then from here we'll come to sitting, to do a simple forward bend. I use my blanket that I used in the start. And I have the chair, so let's use the chair. I will put a bolster on my chair, but you can use a pillow also. And the reason I put that is it's soft and nice for my forehead, because I'm gonna place my forehead now, so I want to have something not so cold and firm like this chair under my forehead. And what I do is I come to Sukhasana, the first pose we did in the beginning. So the feet under the knees. I'm sitting on my blanket with my buttocks only, if you remember. Yeah. And then from here, I come forward. You can have a pillow, it's totally okay. And I grab the side of the back of the chair and then place my forehead on the bolster. So it's a gentle forward bend. And then slowly come up. Change the cross of your legs. And I'll say one thing. When you place your forehead on the pillow, make sure you're not pulling your forehead upwards. You want it to descend downwards. So it's more quieting for the mind, for the brain. Don't want to pull it up, okay? So you pay attention to that. Now when we do the other side, you reach forward, you bring your forehead on the pillow, and the forehead is descending towards your eyebrows. And you can close the eyes if you like. And then come out from it slowly. And then we'll come into the last resting position. I put my chair away. I have my blanket. I open it one time. So I will use this blanket like a pillow under my head and neck, not the shoulders. So you'll put a support under the head and neck. And you might need more height. What you want to look for is your forehead. Again, like I said, your forehead is not going that way when you lay down. Your forehead, your tip of your nose is descending slightly towards your chest. You don't want to also lift the head too much, then it will also be close in your chest. But if you're like this, it's not comfortable. You'll feel it anyways. So you want the slightly descending forehead, tip of the nose. Yep. And you can place your blanket and bend the knees. Here you can bring that buttocks forward towards your heels. So the top buttocks is going towards your heels, and you gently come down and arrange your blanket under your head and neck. And then one by one you can straighten your legs. Arms slightly out to the side. Allow the legs to to release, feet to fall to the side. And if you're comfortable to close the eyes here, close the eyes. If the eyes are restless, don't force them to close, then have gentle gaze. And just release the whole body to the ground. Allow the top of your shoulders to melt towards the ground. Release the tongue, the throat, the jaw. And allow your eyes to become quiet in the eye socket. If you wish to stay here longer, please do so. Otherwise, take a deeper inhale and exhale gently. Bring your hands on your torso wherever it feels nice to have them. And then bend your knees one by one. Take your right arm over the head and roll to your right side. Bring the knees towards your chest. And then turn your chest even more towards the ground, and with the support of your left hand, left palm, press yourself up, slowly head coming last, and then come into sitting in cross leg. Bring your palms in front of your chest. And as you exhale, bow your head towards your heart. Bring your hands on your thighs. Inhale, lift the head and open the eyes if they were closed. Thank you. If you enjoyed it, please like it and please share it. See you next time.